Hey there, folks. It's been a tough time. Welcome to the official Dovetail stream. We are going to have a look at the Midland Main Line, London to Bedford. In this particular scenario, we're going to be running from St Albans back to St Pancras. So what does it say? Good evening, driver. Today you'll be driving this passenger service towards Sutton. Head to St Albans City Platform 1, where you'll make your first passenger pickup. Right. Let's get moving. We're driving a Class 319 in First Capital Connect livery. Headlights look like they're set up correctly, which is good. Get some wipers going. Well, I do apologise for all of the delay. And unfortunately, I think we had a power issue earlier on. And I used power line adapters to get network connectivity into the garage where I'm sitting. This is an interior garage. I'm not actually out in a cold garage. And oops, speeding. Stop speeding. Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion something's gone wrong with that. So I'm using my laptop now, unfortunately, which is running over wireless. Fortunately. Right, let's stop here. Pick up some of those good passengers. Oh. Hang on, need to get rid of that. There we go. Right, let's get some passengers loading. So one of the nice features of the 319 is it's got the full interlocking system. So if I release the brakes now, nothing actually will happen because the brakes have been locked on by the fact that the doors are open. So right, so where are we here? So let's just put. Okay, so here we go. All passengers are on board. Proceed to St Pancras Thameslink, stopping at Radlett, Elstree, Borehamwood and West Hampstead Thameslink beforehand. So the brakes have released now because the doors are shut, so we can get going. So we are just leaving St Albans, and that's apparently a bridge. Let's get past the bridge, shall we? That way we can look at a bit of the route. Oh, I'm on a bit of a fluster tonight. It's you spend a while, you get a machine set up, and you think, hey, we're all sorted here. And you press the go button, and then everything goes to pieces. And then it's hurriedly trying to figure out what's going on. So anyway, we're heading down the main line. Let's just have a quick look at the map. So Bedford up here. We're going to Bedford, and we're going to run two scenarios tonight. They're only short 25-minute ones. We've got the little merry-go-round aggregate hopper place there. Let's just see what we're doing here. Anything I need to worry about here? Doesn't look like it. I'm paranoid. I'm not paying enough attention to the driving. Okay, we've got a green light and it's not only a speed limit. So yeah, so that's Radlett. You've got this area here. I must admit I can't remember what the name of it is. And then we come round the corner and we come into St Pancras, and St Pancras Thameslink is there. So you've got the overground platforms in St Pancras, and then you've got the underground Thameslink platform down there. 70 miles an hour. So we've got 3.4 miles to get to Radlett. Let's have a look at the task list here, and then we go to Elstree, and then we've got quite a journey just doing go-vias as we skip a bunch of stations. So as I said earlier, we're driving the Class 319. Let's take a look at the passenger view. We've got time. Looks like a certain little black book. Warning, have I paid? Engine driver. Have you been to the Engine Driver website lately? If not, you should go to the Engine Driver website. Right. Okay, we're coming up to the 90 speed limit now. And we're just coming up to Radlett, actually. So this route is the Midland Main Line, London to Bedford. So it's London St Pancras is the London station, and going up to Bedford north. So you'll go past places like Luton Airport and Kentish Town. It comes with a class 319. Normally, I would have started this scenario, this little session, with a little overview of what's in the route, which would be useful, wouldn't it? So it comes with the class 319 electric multiple unit, and it also comes with class 66 in EWS livery, as well as the FSA and FTA container wagon set, and some cement wagons. Since there is a cement works just outside St Pancras Station, which you can drive through. We're just coming into Radlett. Here we go. Coming nicely to a stop. Oh, look at this. We're even going to make it to the 4-car stop marker. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. So open the doors. Let's have a look outside, shall we? Right, it's time to go. Let's release the brakes. And let's get some speed on. DTG have made a patch for Matt's driving. Thanks, Joe. So, next station is Elstree and Borehamwood, platform 1. And it's the 2.6 miles away. So Darkness Monsters just asked, does the Class 66 that come with this pack use the original 66 brakes or the Class 66 brakes as on Settle Carlisle? I can't remember off the top of my head what the brakes are on Settle Carlisle. It's the latest version that's implemented, so as you want to stop, you apply brake and then you put it back to the centre again to maintain it, and it'll bring the brakes down to that level. So it really is, it's the proper thing. Same with the loco brake, that looks quite different, completely authentic. And of course the ever working fan, which is a must have. Elstree's just come off my HUD, so we're good to go. It looks like whatever the network problems are around here, it is definitely just down to the power network. Then the ISP seems to have been fine, because I'm getting no drop frames whatsoever on this stream, which is excellent. Let's just take a look outside. What do we see? stopping in point 8, so let's just cut some power and we'll put some brake on in a minute. Right, so that's the caution, because the speed limit is dropping from 90 to 75, and there indeed is the indicator for it. That doesn't bother us too much because we're stopping here. So that kind of implies we're slowing down anyway. Oh, I'm not going to get the forecast off this time. Never mind. The door's open. Right, let's have another look around. So this is Elstree and Borehamwood. Right, let's get moving. Lovely burger advert there, it is, Kirano. Right, so now we've got a bit of a, on this particular journey, this scenario, by the way, is called Rush Hour Soul. It's the 5th scenario that comes in the pack. And it basically involves running the 319 from St Albans to St Pancras. So we've got I think a couple of stops left on this scenario, but we're going to be doing some high speed running now to get into London. Cab light, of course. Just as we get up to the 75 in the 75 limit, it goes up to 90, which is cool. So the second scenario we're going to run after this one is going to be using the Class 66, and we're going to do a run from Luton to Bedford, so that you can sort of see the north side of the route. There we go, coming up to the speed limit. So we're not stopping at Mill Hall Broadway, we're going straight through. I'm going to drop the throttle down to notch 3. Now we're up to 90, I can drop it to notch 2. Just keep a gentle eye on that one and we'll keep going. Just going to basically hover between around the 90 mile an hour mark. Got a 60 limit coming up, so we're going to get an alarm coming off the AWS in a minute. There it goes. So now I can switch step 1 in, and that should slow us down for the 60. So while it does that, let's just take another look outside. So frame rate wise, I'm running on my laptop now rather than the of course there was a the one joy of running outside the cab, of course, is that you miss all the AWS alarms, which is pain. Never mind, we're running ahead of schedule, so we have the bandwidth to do it. Okay, I appear to have a problem trying to get it to come out of reverser. There we go, way back. Right, so after that slight hiccup, it would have gone so nicely. Right, so we're still in a 60 limit until now, and now we're in a 90 limit. Okay, let's try and get some of this time back, shall we? Let's keep an eye on the outside. Meanwhile, I'll try and keep an eye on that that yellow alarm there. Going through Hendon. We almost got full points. We're not that far behind. We'll certainly make it up. I ran this scenario earlier on, and it's reasonably easy to make up time. Excuse me one moment. Ah, there's I'm trying to find the keyboard for the other machine. Ah. How are we doing here? 77 miles an hour. I do apologise, this really isn't very professional this evening. Right. Just done it again, haven't I? This driving from the outside, Lark, is just not a good idea. Right, let's try this again once we get moving. Connecting to brakes to release and then get moving again. Yay. I'm going to stay in the cab now, if that's okay with everybody. Is it 3 strikes and you're out, Woody says. Hello. Ooh, we've got a blind. There we go. This is hardcore driving in expert mode. So I'm not going to do that. Cricklewood. Yeah, it's Friday the 13th, and see, I'm not normally a superstitious person, but I think I'm going to have to be from now on. See, we still gained score. The timetable for this scenario is actually quite forgiving, even for someone like me. Right, where are we going now? We are stopping at West Hampstead Thameslink, platform 1, in just under a mile. I've actually not done too bad for speeding. I don't think I've done too much speeding this evening. What I have been doing is slamming the emergency brakes on because I've not been answering AWS. Dear, oh dear. Just coming into West Hampstead now. So the poll that's on at the moment in the chat, if you are joining us in the chat, is what kind of trains are you going to be running on the Midland Main Line? Express passenger, commuter, or freight? What is it that sort of floats your boat for this particular line? So you see, after all of that trouble, I think I'm just going to leave that right there. Forecast stop. Where are we? West Hampstead Thameslink. So while we're stopped, is a good place to have a look. Oops, zoomed out a bit too far there. So this is West Hampstead. And it's time to go. As soon as the doors release on the interlocks. Let's get moving. Right. So next stop is, next waypoint. We're going via Kentish Town. So we're into the London area now. Not too much longer now until we get to St Pancras, and so when we get to St Pancras, we'll be going to the Thameslink platforms, the underground. And speeds are going to be going down as we get into the busier areas in the inside London as well. Right. Very nice compliment there from Ashley B45. Apparently I look like a train driver. All I need to do now is act like one. So I'm just going to get accelerated a bit. We're going to slow down for that 50 in a moment. Number 319 heading in the other direction. Probably going to need step 2 to actually make that. A little bit of speeding there, but only it clocked me for 10 points. Wow, that was obviously a bit more hardcore speeding than I thought. See, inside the cab, that's not a problem. I can hear what's going on. And that was an alarm for the 30 limit, so we need to get slowed down for the 30 limit. So things are getting busier now that we're into London. As soon as we let's have a quick look outside. What have we got in front of us here? So when you're driving the route. When you get the AWS alarm for slowing down, and you see the guide to slow down, you should be able to normally do it just by using step 1 brakes. You should just about get there, and then you can always apply a bit of step 2 if you absolutely need to. But generally what I've found on this route is apply step 1 and you'll usually make it just in time, which is good for keeping to time as well. So we're not stopping here. St Pancras Thameslink A is our next station. Willie says he usually slows down too much too early, and it's that's a common problem, and I suffer that from myself. Usually one or the other, too early or too late. And really it's just route knowledge. It's practicing and learning what the markers are and where you can do it. Now a good one is when you see the speed restriction. So the AWS alarm happens early enough to say you need to do something here, and then when you look up you go straight past the speed reduction warning sign, which is the sort of the yellow triangle sign, the upside down triangle. Then if you apply your step 1 you'll make it in. So we've got a quite a sharp descent now as we come into St Pancras Thameslink A. We do need to now start watching our speed. Release the brakes a minute to get some more of that speed back up, or we will never get where we're going. That's better. That brake again. And here we come into the St Pancras Thameslink station. This is the underground station. One thing I have found with the 319 while I've been having a play with this route myself is it's actually got very responsive brakes. So by the time you're using a full service application, you can stop this thing pretty quickly. That's the escalators over on the right that get you up to the main part of the main concourse of St Pancras Station. And the doors. Just about the end of this scenario, and then we can get on with the next one. Brilliant, well done driver. Before the train departs for Sutton, let's see how you did. 824, not as good as my drive this afternoon where I got just under 1,000. But that's okay, we had some emergency brakes, which I didn't do earlier on. Excellent, right, now let's get on with the next one. So, Next, we're going to be, so these are the scenarios you actually get in the pack. So you've got the right down the line, leaving so soon, crosstown traffic, doing the Caldwell Walk, rush hour Seoul, cementing relations is on the Class 66, as is gravel travels. And we are going to be doing cementing relations, which is another relatively short scenario. Starting at Luton, drive a freight train northwards as far as Bedford. Sorry for the delay, folks. The game will be loaded in just a moment. Here we are. So we're in Luton, or just south of Luton, if memory serves. These are some of the cement tanks that come with the pack. Lights are on, that's good. So good afternoon, welcome to the cab of the Class 66. These cement wagons are being taken to Earl's Sidings in the Peak District, but will only be taking them as far as Bedford. So remember not to exceed 60 miles per hour due to the wagon's speed restrictions. Right. In order to release or apply the train brakes in the Class 66, the lever must always be moved to 100% of its travel. This will set a target level for the brake application as shown in the outer needle on the brake pipe control gauge. The braking system slowly matches the target application, and the amount of braking effort being applied is indicated with the inner gauge needle. I'll show you that in a minute. So, that's the AWS self-test. And so, unfortunately, I don't have a Class 66 backdrop set up at the moment. Sorry. So let's have a look at this brake then. So this is the brake pipe control and this is the airflow. So if I move the brake control down all the way, you'll see this needle here move up. So let's move this needle to 4 and see what happens. Right, so airflow is now going through the system and the brakes are now coming off, but only to there, and this indicates we've stopped moving air. If I now move this up to 100% down to here, you'll see that the air flows and the brakes apply to there, and this is released. Okay, 5 is released. So let's put the brakes up to here so that we've got a bit of a faster start. So we've got a number of other controls on here, like the parking brake on and off. We switch it over also because we've got quite a heavy train. We're going to switch it to good timing on the brakes so that they behave differently and better for a heavier train. Right, we've been given a shunt signal clear out of this particular siding, so we move this down all the way, and now the bar will take it all the way up to 5, and then we can start winding up the power. There we go. So what other features have we got on here? You've got your engine start and stop button. You've also got your windscreen left and windscreen right. Put my teeth back in. We're in a 15 limit still until we've got out of the yard. So I'm just going to ease off on the power a little bit. So down here we've got the train length indicator, which is basically it knows how long the length of the train is. You press the button, and then when it goes off again, it means that wherever that means the back of the train has gone past that bit that you've just gone through. Okay, so I wasn't quite paying attention to the speed limit there. Now there is another signal over here. Now remember, a train just went past us, so I do need to be a little bit cautious. This might be that train, I don't know. But let's just start accelerating, but we need to be aware. In fact, here you go, we can see from the repeater signal here that our signal is clear. That's it, and that's our signal here, the green one, so we're good to go. Excellent. Right, so yeah, so the train length, basically wherever you press it, you'll then get a beep when the back of the train has gone past the point where you pressed it. So it's really good for checking speed. So if I was to do that now, there you go, and the back of the train is just past that point that I went through. So now if you're driving without the HUD, you'd have a much clearer view of what's going on with the when you're clear to accelerate past speed posts. So I'm just getting the train up, and then we'll go and have a look around the outside. So just finishing off what we've got in here. This is the loco brake. This is the main brake, the PBL brake. Sander. We've got horn with independent control. Good, so we've got nothing coming up on AWS. Let's have a quick look outside. So this is the 66 in EWS livery, along with the cement wagons. So the design of the cement wagons actually means that, as you probably expect, it actually helps it use gravity to let the cement come out of the centre part there, whereas when they were flat, then obviously they needed more effort to actually get all of the cement out of the wagons. Actually, that's a very good point. 60 is my speed limit, in fact, so I do need to be aware of that. These are some of the other wagons that are included in the pack, the PCAs, if I remember rightly. So there's also cab light and instrument lights. So you've got the instrument lights, and let's leave those on actually, and then you've got cab light. We've also got some information up here, and the headlight proving. So if I switch to a different set of headlights, so these are the depot lights, and this is the night lights. So I can see what's going on very quickly and easily outside the train. We seem to be doing okay so far in terms of following traffic. Again, our signal is in a good state, so that's what the repeater is there for. Those repeaters, which sort of look like a bit like the old semaphore signals, are there so that because you won't be able to see the actual signal in time to be able to react to it. So they put the signal in advance so that you can see it in good time to react to the state of that signal. So we're going over 60 again. Let's just let the train drop back to the 60 speed limit. So our next waypoint is at Harlington in 4 miles. Let's take another look outside. So we're actually travelling north. So whereas the previous journey we were travelling south, this time we're travelling north. We started at Luton and we are on our way to Bedford at the northern extremity of the route. Building the speed back up, we're trying to actually do the 60. If If 60's all we've got, 60's all we're going to get. Let's pop it back to that HUD so we can see more of what's going on in the cab. Working windows, of course. Bit of wind noise going on there, that's excellent. So 2.5 miles now to Harlington, and we're running about 20 seconds behind schedule, which isn't too bad going. You can hear the gentle yin-yin because we're only on 12% power, so the loco's barely having to do any work to haul this train at the moment. Let's actually have a look at the... so these are the PCA tankers. Harlington's coming up, and none of those speed limits concern us because they're all above 60. Let's just pop out of the cab since the train is basically driving itself at this point, and let's have a stop, a look at Harlington. Let's fly around a bit more and just take in some more of the route. Right, so what else have we got coming up here? Another village. This is Bridge Simulator. Let's get back in the cab for a little while. Flitwick is coming up. We're holding our speed quite nicely. So let's have a look at the route. So we're coming up to Flitwick. We're here, and the route sort of curves around a bit. Before we end up at Bedford. So the nickname of the Class 66, so I'm glad I'm in the cab now. So the nickname for the Class 66 is Shed, because that's what they look like. They're called sheds. So through a number of built-up areas as you head the way up. It's pretty much four track, I think, most of the way. So there's scope for fast and slow lines being busy in your scenarios. Lots of houses. I want to live in one of these houses where they're right back on the railway. I don't think my family would agree though. So we're doing okay on speed. Time wise we are just over a minute ahead of schedule, so we're doing good. Industrial area, and we've done an emergency brake again. Oh dear, never mind. We were a minute ahead of schedule. Right, so now we've got to wait for the brakes to come off, so we're letting the line chase round again here. Get it in forwards. Right, here we go. I don't think we'll be doing that Irish railway. I'll leave that to you. Right, we're moving again, so I need to get back up to 60. What's sad, of course, is that speed limit didn't apply to us because we're only doing 60, and that speed limit was a warning for a 75. If only we could do 75. That's better, we're going properly again now. At least you got to hear the engine revving up again. That's nice. Always look on the bright side. That's better, we're nearly there now. Let's just let it drift a bit under the 60 again. I know I'm playing a dangerous game, going back outside again, but you're here to see the route, not the cab for half an hour. So I thought I would jump outside. Well, the green signal at least, that makes life easier. Lovely lake down there. Spin up the engines a bit. So next waypoint is Elstow down slow. Let's just have a quick look in the map, see how we're doing. This is where we are now on the map. So and there's Elstow down slow. So there's another loading and unloading facility here at Elstow. So I'm getting actually pretty good frame rates now. I'm up at about sort of 35, 36 frames per second. This is running on my laptop. So the overall performance of the route is actually very good. My laptop, I'll just highlight, is about 5 years old. It's a high-spec machine 5 years ago, so a modest computer these days can usually outperform it. So performance-wise, I wouldn't expect anyone to have any real problems with it. It certainly seems to be behaving itself very well on this machine. Obviously the London side of things is going to be a bit tighter, but as you saw, there weren't any real problems as we drove into London. Just coming up to Elstow down slow now, it's just about a mile away. So what's everyone thinking about the poll then? What's the result of the poll so far? Let's go and have a look. So it seems we have a 53.6% on commuter and 39.3% on freight. And then we've got 7.1% of people who decided they either voted incorrectly or voted for something else. So commuter seems to be the winner here. Is that true? Does anyone who hasn't voted yet want to disagree and register a vote? There's Elstow. Let's just go and have a look at Elstow. A loading and unloading point there. And headline for the train to go on. Oh. There we go. Emergency brake again. Oh dear. You know what? This is completely realistic, because if the driver got out and started taking photographs of other things, the train probably should stop. Right, let's get going again. I'm making this look probably a lot harder than it really is. What I would say to folks is, if you're paying attention and you're actually in the cab watching what you're doing, this is dead easy. Are we going yet? No, we need to put it in forward gear, thank you. Now we can go. No, I had a similar experience with PZB the other day, but this simple fact is that because I'm talking about the route and I'm not paying attention to driving the train, that's what these safety systems are actually there to protect against, is the driver not paying attention to what they're doing. So it's yes, if you pay attention to what you're doing, it's dead easy, it's not a problem. It's just one key when the alarm goes off. Bedford South Junction down slow in 0.46 miles, so we're nearly in Bedford. 1.2 miles now to Bedford, and platform 2 is where the stage scenario ends, so we're almost at the end. I'm going to stay in the cab now, but we'll look around a little bit so that we can see what's going on. See, when you're in the cab, it's trivial. So we've just been told about the what you will want to do is make sure you're looking down at the brake display here, so that when you apply brakes you actually can see what you're doing. So I'm probably not going to be thanked when I get to Bedford. This is a lovely bridge actually. As we come into Bedford, it's a lovely bridge over the river there. Got the train washes over there on the right. So Dean's just said, "Am I enjoying the route?" I absolutely am. It's a treat to drive when you're paying attention to what you're doing, and there's tons of stations on the route for you fans of commuter traffic. to go up and down the line on. But if you like express services, there are the fast lines as well, and there's plenty of freight you can run on it as well. So it's actually a really diverse route that should keep a wide variety of interests amused and engaged. And this is Bedford, folks, which is the northern end of the route. I'm late anyway, so I might as well just coast into the platform. Stay behind the yellow line, sir. There we go, this is where we stop. So that's basically two scenarios. We did St Albans down to St Pancras, and we've done Luton up to Bedford. So that covers most of the route and misses the bit between St Albans and Luton, which isn't particularly long. So that gives you a good idea of what the route looks like. You've seen the two locos, so that's the Class 66 EWS and the Class 319 in First Capital Connect, and what sort of, and I've given you a brief tour of how you drive those, and how you don't drive them. And you've also played two of the scenarios now that come with it. So as you can see, there's plenty to do there. It's a very nice route with plenty of stations for you to run your commuter services with, as I said earlier on. With well-known locations like St Pancras, which of course you've got the upper level and the lower level that you can terminate your services at, Luton Airport and Bedford. So that's been a tour of London Bedford. I hope that's been enjoyable for you, and that's the end of this official broadcast on the Dovetail stream. I really hope that's been it's been something useful. We'd love to get your feedback. So please do send us feedback to the support@dovetailgames.com address, or to Facebook, or to Engine Driver indeed, and we'll collate that feedback, and we definitely appreciate it. So I think I've remembered everything that needs to be remembered. So at that point, I think I'm going to sign off here. Thanks very much everybody for joining. I do apologise for all of the problems at the beginning of the scenario. We do seem to have got there in the end though, which is good. I look forward to our next broadcast. Until then, goodbye.